Well, greetings everyone, and welcome to another video. In fact, welcome to another year of videos. This is going to be my 5th year now that I'm going into making content and bringing it to you on YouTube. Last year wasn't that great for me. 2024, even though I made videos, just wasn't the greatest year for me getting out there and hitting some of the places that I wanted to get to. There was a lot of stuff going on for me last year. Work schedules and other stuff going on. I just didn't get out there and get to places that I wanted to, but hopefully that's going to change this year. And with this video, I am back up in the Redding area exploring a place that I was at probably 5 years ago when I started making videos. Did one video on it, and I returned to the place about 2 years later with RJ, but we didn't do any filming or anything. We were just there checking out the area, and I was showing him around the place and what all was there and everything. But the reason why I went back up there was because I was alerted to, a friend of mine alerted me to some stuff that was up there, and I decided to go back up there and reinvestigate the area and see if we could locate what he was talking about. So let's get out there to this familiar spot and see what we're gonna go in search of that day. All right, so we are up here on Mount Penn Mountain. We made the trek from the parking area over there where I was at in my previous video when I was here about 5 years ago, when I started making YouTube videos and filming this wine cellar. So I got my friend with me here today who's another history buff, and we're checking out the area up here to find footprints of some more of the buildings that are up here, and maybe find something that's Indian related up here, but we're not so sure about the second part yet. But there's the wine cellar in back of me, and now that everything's dead, I can see over here in this area that I pointed out, I think in my other video, but you couldn't see it that well. There's a foundation over there. And then what I'm going to be showing Rick today is where the house would have been straight up there. And he's got some postcards with him that he found online, and he's going to use them, see if we can make some reference points here with what he has. All right. So while we're walking out here, and I was here about 2.5 years ago with RJ. We were here in September, but we didn't do any filming. We just did some exploring. But right over in this area is going to be where the foundation and the stonework for the house is that we discovered. In fact, it should be right there. There's the print of it right there, and you can tell by the terrain of the land. And I'll tell you what, pull out your postcard, and then you can see we'll show you the one photo from so this would have been
this building.
Right. So
what we're looking at there might be.
Yep. So that picture there was taken from down there looking up where we're standing. So there you can see the pillars. And then this would have been a side view from over there looking over here towards it, because there is a whole other building there that I did not know about.
Well, if you look at that bank, I'll bet that we're standing where the house was.
Yeah.
I think.
Oh yeah, this is where the house was, right here. There's no doubt about it.
Look. See if that's a man-made wall or
There you can see, give you a close-up of the pictures. There's no easy way of getting down there. So this was back in 1890, I believe, was when this was in operation up here. I'm not sure if I had the exact date when I did my other video up here or not. All right, looking at the picture, and I'll sit it down here so I can point, but those columns right there would be that column there and that column there.
We're missing what, 2?
We're missing, yeah, we're missing, there should have been some that, if we're looking at this correctly, that other building should have been over in here somewhere.
You think we're looking at this building?
That's what I think we're looking.
Because there's 4 on that, and it's hard. Well, if you look, we're down behind there.
Yeah.
This is the back. That holds out.
Yep,
So the whole building would have been,
that way.
yeah.
And then the other building that's there should have been over here somewhere. I'll have to walk out through over here, see if we can find anything else over here, but this is definitely, that's definitely some of those pillars there. And that wall over there was man-made. So as I was walking over here, coming up from the bottom, and we think that one postcard might be an inverted picture of the lodge and everything, but over here, in fact it's right in front of me, is another stone wall right here. And then over in here, it's going to be hard to get to, but I was here when I had RJ here. We discovered this, and there is a hand-dug well right here. Goes down about 4 or 5 feet.
God, you realize what a job that was from this rock.
Yeah, but they had definitely, there's a foundation around it.
Yeah.
It's squared off,
Now it's dried up.
but yeah, the well's dried up. So that I missed the first time I was here filming, but discovered it when I was here with RJ. But I can't find any more. There's another post or foundation right there.
This is cement.
Yeah, that's concrete, cement. But if there is anything else along here, it's buried under all this undergrowth. And it is just so thick in here too, with vines and briar bushes, that navigating is almost next to impossible. So there's another area directly across from us that has a well-defined foundation that we're going to check out yet while we're here. So walking up here, starts right about over there, comes across here, is a stone wall with a cement floor to it. And pretty much runs this whole length right here. There you can see it out there. There's another rise to it. And the end of it's just out here. So we'll walk out here, take a look. And I haven't seen any pictures online or anything of what this could have been. And there you can see the end of it broken off. Goes all the way back to where Rick's standing. And I think he just found something else back there. We'll have to check out. He's pointing something out to me. I found another indentation in the ground over here, which we saw one of those walking in, but over there is the wine cellar. Lodge would have been right there. So this is another hole in the ground that is not natural. There's another stone wall there going out through. And that wall would have came from there out to here. This looks like the end of it right here where I'm standing. I don't see it anywhere else. And then it would have been right out there as the other end of it. Some of the strangest things you find in the woods. Not finding any tires, but finding golf balls. Interesting. So we're walking around some of the trails over here, and I saw this, and I actually thought it was a platform or something. It actually is a hot tub cover.
Somebody drug it.
Somebody drug it up here and dumped it, but Rick's memory is beginning to come back as we're trying to find this Indian energy vortex that legend has here. He was talking about a pit. We found the pit. So now he's saying we got to go somewhere this way and look for it. We don't know if we're actually going to find it, and if we do find it, legend has it it's not turned on all the time. And for anybody that knows me with my videos, you know how skeptical I am of this kind of stuff and the paranormal and everything, just because I have never seen any concrete evidence to prove me otherwise. But Rick was up here 8 years ago, 7-8 years ago, and they were close to it. Him and a couple other friends were up here, so we're going to keep looking here and see if we can come up with something. Do have a nice vantage point from where we're standing up on top of these rocks. And I think we're going to venture over to my right here and see if there's anything over there where Rick's going. He's got a compass out just in case there is some form of energy. It should make the compass spin or go haywire if this vortex is turned on and if we're even in the right area of it. All right, Rick's going to walk behind me and go back to that pit area and take a different route. I'm just going to walk down here a little bit to this rocky area where this path goes and go over here to the left just to see if there's anything interesting. I think I might have found some more of the gravity railroad, but I'm not 100% certain it is. And I'll show that on when we go back out. Definitely some nice rock formations here. All right, Rick's about 40 or 50 yards ahead of me out there, so I'm going to walk over there and see if he found anything else that would jar his memory. He's pretty sure we're in the area where it's supposed to be, but pinpointing it, it's going to be a little tricky. So Rick brought up a good point. When we came in, which is straight ahead here, and I'll show it, there's a log up there that somebody carved flat with a chainsaw and went through a lot of work to make it flat. Did they make that as a bench to sit at this energy vortex? We don't know. And Rick pointed out too, we could be standing in the middle of it right now and not even know it, because it's not a well documented thing here. Really can't find any information online. We're going by folklore stories that people have talked about that have been up here and more or less experienced it. So we'll walk up here and show you this long log that was carved into a bench. This is what I was talking about the railroad bed. There is no road like that, a narrow road like that out in the woods here for no reason. So it came up from the ball diamond, and that definitely looks like the signature of a footprint of a railroad bed. It would have came up through here, but where it went to once you get past here, we don't know because we lose it. And they said on the information board that's over there in the woods by the cellar that the Gravity Railroad ran about a block away from where the wine cellar and lodge was located, and we're about a block away from it. So just roughly guesstimating, if they used the same kind of measurements for like a city block back then, this would have been the area. But Rick's over here at this log that we saw on our way in. That somebody went through a lot of trouble to carve this log out, all the way out.
Look at this. They notched this and screwed it in. Somebody was building something. See it?
Yeah. Somebody was definitely building something, because this is all notched and screwed in.
Here's where I get hurt.
Yeah, here's where Rick hurts himself.
Sitting down here.
Yeah. This is very peculiar. This whole thing is carved and screwed in right there again.
They even laid pieces in up here. Look what's at the end of this. Another pit.
Yeah. Okay, so now here's my take on this. Is that what we're supposed to be looking for too? Some kind of, you said there was stuff around it, supposed to be.
Well, at that other pit, when we were up there years ago, people were leaving seashells and all kinds of offerings to the Native Americans.
All right, so there was supposed to be seashells and, as he put it, other stuff as offering to the Native Americans. Here's my take on this thing here that is so peculiar. Could it be a ramp for the bicyclers to take their bikes on?
Good point.
either come in off of that end over there, ride here on this, and go down this here, because you look down here, there are like paths along here.
That makes more sense than.
Because that's what, after looking at it and looking how it drops off here with the rocks at the end, that this could be something to do for bicyclers. But even so, somebody went through a lot of trouble to do this, if they did do this for mountain biking, because you can mountain bike this whole mountain up here.
Did you ever try and rip a log with a chainsaw? Yeah. It ain't easy.
Yeah.
And this guy ripped 30 feet of it.
Yeah, talked to my dad about ripping. He did that stuff with a chainsaw already and carved stuff out. It's not easy ripping a log this long with a chainsaw. But that's my thinking of what this could be. This could be something to do with the mountain bikers. All right, so we are going to say nay for the energy vortex there for the Native Americans. So we are going to walk back out towards where we parked again and check out something else that I documented when I was here before. I want to see if my suspicion is correct, if it is actually part of the gravity railroad or not. But did find some more stuff here with Kuechler's Roost. But unfortunately, the pictures that we have, that we showed of the postcards, that's about all the pictures we can really find that have been online and in books that Rick has and everything. So we'll pick it up as soon as we get down off the top of this mountain. So this is another area that I'm thinking might have been with the gravity railroad, but are uncertain, because when we came in, we found a stone wall down here, and this just seems weird to me, why this pipe right there would cross over this path that's here and come out and down the other side. And yeah, the stone wall is just to the left or the right over here. As this is where the pipe comes out, right about there.
And the wall's here.
Yeah, and the wall is just to our right. So I want to walk straight down here a little bit and see if this path goes.
If they channel the water so it wouldn't wash the road.
Yeah. 'Cause there's the wall. And it is a fairly long wall too that goes up there. And goes down here pretty far. So is that something, like Rick had said, to channel the water away? Because this looks like it could be like a gully here. So we'll walk down here a little bit, see if anything else can tell us for sure, but this almost looks like it could have been something to do with it. That's the end of it right there. Now there's something over there. Right here. Doesn't that look like? That looks like something.
Not naturally flat.
Yeah. That's not naturally flat.
And that looks like a cement.
Yeah. Corner over there. How can we get through here without getting stuck in the pickers? Go over here and check this out. This is definitely not natural. There's a wall back here too.
Doesn't that look like
Nah, there's no pipe. There's no pipe or anything. What it looks like is steps on this side.
these are steps down here, full set. These gotta be 6 foot long.
Well, there was some kind of
You think this was some kind of station?
built. I don't know if they had stations along here or not.
I mean, look at those steps.
Yeah, that
If
is
we're
that is a
right,
stairwell.
and that was the railroad bed. This must have been loading or unloading.
Very well could have been. That's interesting.
I wish we had a good map.
Yeah, I know.
A lot of this makes sense.
I'll walk over here a little bit.
Literally, that's 12 feet from that, what we thought was a railroad bed.
I don't know if I can get through here or not. This is just so thick through here, it's not even funny. Just to see how far back this goes. Yep. So this platform or foundation goes back here pretty far. Probably back to, right back in there where I'm pointing. But that would, as Rick said, that would make sense. If that is the gravity railroad bed in front of us, this could have been some kind of platform if they had stations along here or, you know, whatever. But I want to get back out on that path and walk down a little bit further. See if I can find some more of it. I just had an idea. So if those are steps there, these are steps here, that very well could be the gravity railroad, because look behind you and look where those steps go, right up to the ballpark.
Yeah, because I said if they had steps back here.
Yep, the steps
they went
there.
somewhere.
I'll bet you this might have been a station or drop-off point for the railroad.
I wonder what was where the ballpark is now.
Yeah, I don't know what was there before that. If there was anything there or not.
I think I'm going to tomorrow start digging George's books.
Yeah.
Look up Gravity Railroad.
Dig out George's books and see what they got.
I'll bet you almost every book has something on it.
So I just want to walk down here. This is just peculiar. But I'm more and more thinking that this is,
I think you're right.
because there's the steps. And there you can see, if it shows up on the camera, but you can see the build up there.
Okay, look, this is channeling down, but you don't know how much changed in the last
Yeah.
130 years, 140.
So I'm gonna walk down here because I think we're coming out to a road. I think there's a road down here or something, but sometimes four eyes are better than two. Rick saw this, some back there, and now I'm finding them here. There's one there. We're finding red bricks along here now. So now what was their purpose out here in the middle of nowhere?
That ditch almost looks man-made.
And this here, is this a rock or is this concrete? Look at this.
There's brick all the way down through there.
Look at this.
That's concrete.
That's concrete.
I'm not so sure. Look at this. This is all concrete.
Yeah, it's all concrete there.
How did it get broken up like that? Unless somebody...
And what was it doing?
Here.
Yeah. What's it
The further
do?
we go here,
What's it doing?
the more...
There's more brick. So we came down and I spotted this, and Rick went in there to look, which I'm going to walk in there. He's saying it's a fireplace. It's out here in the middle of the woods.
Sure looks like one.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's definitely a fire pit, fire, whatever.
But why? Once again,
Yeah.
is it out here?
Why is it out here in the middle of the woods? Which we're not that far away from a road. You can probably hear the car traveling there.
I think they'd have a land.
Yeah, something here, but there's no other remnants here or anything, any foundations or anything. But I want to walk down. We're real close to the road. I just want to walk down and see where this trail goes at the road to see if I can find, again, any more signatures of a railroad bed. All right, so my guesses were correct. As we're looking here, we found markers. We're actually across the road. Down there is where we came out, and this is the Gravity Trail. So we've been hiking on the Gravity Railroad the whole time and didn't even realize it. But you really can't tell there would have been a railroad going through here. Just a lot has changed in 150 years or more, or however long it's been. But success on at least one thing anyway.
Well, you know,
We found it. Now where it goes from up there at the Kuechler's Roost, we don't know. That's so hard to try and figure out up there.
well, you know, the train came out down there. It certainly didn't make a 90-degree turn, come up here 50 feet,
Yeah.
make a 90 to the left. You know, trains don't.
Well, trolleys can turn. Trolleys have a little bit more turning than what the trains do. And this was a trolley that came up through here. So trolleys have a little bit more turning radius than what trains do. All right, so there you have it, a re-investigation of what is known as the bunker or Kuechler's Roost on Mount Penn Mountain, and in search of that energy vortex that's supposed to be up there by legend. So we're still not 100% certain on the energy vortex yet or its location up there. We're going to do some more investigating and checking some more books to see if we can find out more information on it. And if we do find more information, we're definitely going to be going back up there to check it out some more. But we did find some things, as you saw in the video, some of the pillars from the lodge there at Kuechler's Roost, and also the Gravity Railroad. And we did have topographical maps that we were using to look for the Gravity Railroad. There are maps out there that have it traced. However, it's not 100% accurate as far as the location of it or anything. And that terrain up there is just so rocky that it's hard to find the actual footprint of where the railroad bed would have been and everything. And if anybody has any information on that, any more information than what we have, please feel free to leave your comments down there in the comment field. And again, thanks to my friend Rick for letting me know about it, the energy vortex, and coming along on this investigation. So until next time, it's have a ball and do it all. We'll see you soon.